Hello everyone, this video is the program intro into the whole channel. In this video I will explain how you can get the most out of your apprenticeship and math, or life for that matter. If your apprenticeship is academically not advancing, I might just have the answers. In this video I will also explain how these clips that I posted are to be used. I am an instructor here with a background in engineering. I also have a journeyman ticket in the carpentry trade and have over 15 years of experience. Apprentices out there, listen to me. Whoever does math on the job site makes the big bucks, okay? It's usually the foreman, the lead hand, the superintendent. They do calculations involving labor, materials, supplies. Your ability to do math is directly proportionate to your earning potential. The better off you are in math, the higher your earning potential is. To do well in your apprenticeship, not just drag along, but to succeed in your apprenticeship, in these clips that I posted here, you must reach a level of proficiency. Notice I said proficiency. I didn't say you have to be familiar with the calculations. Familiarity is cute, but is not enough. If you watch the clips and you understand the calculations, that's a good start, but does precious little to be proficient. Let me explain what proficiency is. To get to proficiency, first you have to watch the clips and take notes as you watch. Take notes in any format that you can learn from and repeat the calculation on your own once you watched the video. When you can repeat the calculation based on your notes, then you have a clue. Then you are familiar with the calculation. Okay? From start to finish, all the steps from your notes, repeat it exactly as it is on the video. When you do that, you are familiar with the calculation. So that's a good start. Second level, change the numbers in the clip. Okay? Come up with a new number or new numbers and repeat the calculations. Refer back to your steps that you took earlier and repeat the steps and come up with the right answer at the end. When you can do that, you understand the calculations. Okay? So that's second level, understanding with new numbers and just you're referring back to your written notes. Level 3, you have to practice the calculations, and having it practiced is not proficiency either. What this third level is about is that you do the calculations with any numbers that you can generate. You do it from beginning to end, all of it, without referring back to your notes or without any visual reference. Just a pencil, a blank sheet of paper, nothing else, and you do it from beginning to end unassisted. Okay? When you can do that, you are well practiced in the calculations, and it's good. But it's not proficiency. Proficiency is when you can do the whole calculation from start to finish, unassisted and fast. Tick-tock, tick-tock. And by fast, I mean at a profitable level fast. So, if fraction addition, adding one fraction to another, takes 15 minutes first, that's a good start. But you have to do it in 15 seconds to be proficient. At the level of proficiency, it takes about 15 seconds to do it, unassisted, in writing, okay? That's what I mean by, for your apprenticeship to have success in, you must reach a level of proficiency in your math. Now, the expectation is that you come to class having reached a level of proficiency. If you miss class, you can also use the clips to review the clip and see what was missed in class. And again, the expectation is that you come to class prepared, having reached a level of proficiency. These clips also don't also don't contain any homework or don't have any assignments in them. The expectation is that if you missed class and missed your homework or assignments, you come and see me and you get it from me. I don't babysit you. I do the instructing. You do the learning, you do the practicing, you get it done. And the expectation is that you catch up with your homework and assignments. Now, I got two news about this math that's posted here. First, the math that's needed for your apprenticeship, there is no new math in it. It's the same math that the Romans used, the same math the Greeks used, the same math Egyptians used before them, and the same math the Babylonians used before the Egyptians. It hasn't changed for the last 4,000 years. So please reach that level of proficiency fast. Also, this relates to the core of the clips, okay? At the core of your apprenticeship, there is 4 number operations: adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. You do this with whole numbers, decimals, and fractions. At the core of it, there's nothing new. It hasn't, in fact, changed for the last 4,000 years. It's the same as it was for the Babylonians and the Egyptians who built a pyramid with square corners. Okay? So there's no new math in your apprenticeship, so do catch up with it. Another aspect is for your apprenticeship is that this old math is recombined in a creative new way to do calculations in voltage drop in a line, circular stair calculations, or maybe you're calculating bend allowances for fabricating up something out of steel. Those calculations are the tricky ones, but at the core of them, they contain old math: adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. And these are recombined with whole numbers, decimals, and fractions to do these calculations that are specific to your trade. So that is also hinting how these clips can be used. But just one more thing about apprentice math and math in middle school and high school. For your apprenticeship, a couple of topics that you had in middle school and high school are totally missing. There are no operations with negative numbers or integers, none. There might be an occasional negative number for temperature reading or such in your apprenticeship, but there is no operations with them, okay? There is no brackets and long bracketed expressions and or parentheses, and so don't worry about long bracketed expressions. No long algebra either with x's, y's, and z's in them, and when you would need to combine like terms, and none of that. The algebra you have is rather simple. Typically, multiply one number with another number to get a third number, or divide one number with another number to get a third number, something like that. There's also no quadratic equations and any of the fancy stuff from high school, and no graphing of any kind, basically. So it's in some ways simpler than your middle school math, because it only has adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing in it at the core of any of the calculations. But where it's harder is that these basic operations are recombined in new creative way, and those calculations have many steps that need practice, and you need to reach a level of proficiency to succeed in your apprenticeship. The clips on this channel can be divided into 2 groups. One group is the core that applies to all apprenticeships and all trades. Again, the adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing clips and place value that concerns whole numbers, decimals, and fractions. Those apply to all apprenticeships, and the rest of the clips the calculations part is where you get to pick and choose. So if you're calculating resistance in a line using Ohm's law, then you do those. If you need to practice calculating surface area for ordering paint, you do those. So that's how the two groups are in the clips can be divided into these two bigger groups. One group applies to everyone, the other one is pick and choose. To reach a level of proficiency in these math topics, to succeed in your apprenticeship, you have to learn. You have to learn, and it is work. And when it comes to work, I recommend that you do often and little, as opposed to infrequently and a lot, all in just a span of 2 or 3 days. It's not happening, it's not learning. You're not gonna go anywhere. Ideally, you don't just watch these clips when you are at school and already trying to do your practicums and projects and trying to keep up with the math and the calculations. Ideally, you would do this before you come to school, throughout the year, so that the academic load is not too great when you get to your schooling session, for your scheduled session at your place of technical training. So, to reach a level of proficiency, I don't care where you learn from. I didn't invent math, I don't own math. Learn from other instructors' clips, other videos posted on YouTube, learn from your classmates' notes, go to the library and find some books in it, for crying out loud. It's all good stuff, and I don't care where you learn from, get it done. And a book on metal bending and shear theory from 1967 is just as good and valid today as it was when it was written, because buildings stand up using the same principles and metal shears the same way as it did in 1967, and resistance in a conductor develops and behaves the same way as it did when in a book it was printed in 1954 or 72. And actually, in fact, electricity behaves the same way it did when Mr. Ohm discovered his laws. And actually, electricity behaved the same way before Mr. Ohm discovered anything about them. But the point is, there is no new math, and the books in the library are just as relevant today as they were when they were printed for your apprenticeship trades and for most apprentices. Last thing about learning. Learning concerns your brain, and learning is about growing new brain cells and rewiring them to the existing ones. So, to do that, you need oxygenated, nutrient-rich blood around your brain and in your brain. In short, cut back on smokes. Smoking constricts the blood vessels and restricts the blood flow to your brain. It does not help you learn, it doesn't help you build new brain cells, it doesn't help your learning, and doesn't help your apprenticeship. Cut back on sugars, cut back on soda pops, cut back on coffee, cut back on junk food. These foods have energy value, but they don't have nutrient value. They don't have vitamins and they don't have minerals. You need vitamins and minerals, you need live food to build brain cells and rewire them and to progress with your apprenticeship. So, make adjustments to your diet. I'm not sending you on a spending spree or shopping spree. Spend the same amount of money, spend it on food that grows you some brain cells, okay? I wish you well in your apprenticeship. This is how basically this channel works and these clips work. Come to class prepared, and let's get to work.